Process management. Process management in our Linux system. Now, what is process? Now, whenever we run any program or any software, any application in our system, it runs some kind of process. It executes some process in our system. Those process job is to complete the task. The task which is given to that process by the application and services, so that they have to complete the task, whatever the task they need to run. So we have the when we execute any application or any services, they execute the processes. In those processes we have the parent process, and also those parent process, to do the job they create the child process for them. So child process will complete the job and then it will pass the control to the parent process. So parent process do what? They can create child process, and the child process can also create the another child process. Then it will go on, and then what? Child process, then child process, and then those child process start doing the job, the task, and then when they finish the task, they will pass the control to the parent process, and the parent process will then done the task, and then it will close itself. Now, if suppose when the process runs the child process, and then the child process do what? It execute and do the task and return the control to the parent process, but it does not release the unique ID, unique process ID, or the information about the process. Then it will keep running without the parent process. The parent process will closes, but the child process, it will still keep running, and then process will become what? That child process will become what? Zombie process. So zombie process will do what? It will running without any purpose, and then it will consume our processing power of the system and do what? Do nothing. It will just consume the power, processing power, and make our system slow. So when you have lots of zombie process, then mean your machine is getting slow because of no reason. Your machine is doing nothing, but it is getting slow because of the zombie process. So we should close those, we should kill those zombie process. Now, when we run the process in our system, so there are different states we have for the running the process. There are different process state we have. Now, first, the process state is running. Now, running, it will be indicated by the flag R. So when the process is running, it will be indicated by the process flag R. That means when you see the R flag, that means it is running. Now when the process is sleeping, now sleeping means what? When the parent process runs the child process, then the child process will do the task, and the parent process will keep sleeping until the child process will finish. So when the child process finish, then it will pass the control to the parent process, and till that time that parent process will remain in a sleeping state. Now you will see the sleeping state by the flag S. So when you see any process showing the flag S, that means it is what? It is sleeping. But S means what? The task interruptible. That means we can interrupt the task, and we can stop, or we can do anything with the task. We can pause, or we can even kill the process while it was sleeping. But when you see the D there, it is sleeping, but it is the task which is uninterruptible. That means we cannot interrupt the task, we cannot pause the task. Then we can see the flag K, that means still it is what? Sleeping, but in this K, what we can do? This is also a sleeping process, but it is a task killable. That means we can kill the task, we can kill the task, we can terminate the task. Then stop means when the process is stopped, then we will see the flag T, and flag T means it is a stop process, it is not doing anything. Now when the process becomes zombie, so you will see the flag Z there. So when you see the flag Z, that means the process has become zombie. Now zombie means exit zombie. Exit zombie, that means it is what? It is exited, and it becomes the zombie. Now you can also see the flag X, but that is rarely you will see the X, because it means the exit dead. Now exit zombie, that means after exiting the process to the parent process, it becomes the zombie and it is still running. But when you see X, it is also a state of zombie, but it is exit dead. That means the process is killed, it is closed, it is dead, but it is not running, but still it is what it is somehow in the like suppose when you close the process, suppose the child process has done the task and then child process is passing the control to the parent process. Now if your system is slow enough, then you will see the X flag to that child process, because it is killing itself, it is getting dead and then passing the control to the parent process. Now at the time which it takes to pass the control to the parent process, at that time, between that time, it will show the X flag. Now this is very rarely we see, because our systems are fast enough to just do it quickly, but if suppose our system is slow enough, then you can see that X flag there. So these are the different states we have. Now the process is what? Process is running, sleeping or stopped, or maybe it can become zombie in some cases. Now for managing the process in our system, in our Linux system, we have a command ps. We have a command ps which we can use to manage the process. That means process. Now this command we can use with the Unix style. That means we can use by the ps with the command options hyphen, we can use the hyphen, and then we can use the other options like the Unix style. But we can also use this command with the BSD Unix style. BSD Unix style, this command also supports the options are given into the BSD Unix style. Now in BSD Unix style, you don't have to give the hyphen, you just have to pass the option A, whatever. But the option means different in Unix style and BSD style. You look, the options are same AUX, but they do the different thing in a Unix style when you use with the hyphen AUX, and when you use it with the BSD Unix, like BSD Unix style, when you don't use hyphen, just give the option AUX, so it do the different job. So when we use PS, only PS, so it will show us the current process of current user. The current user, that means the user which we are logged in. Right now we are logged in as a root on this sudo terminal. So it is showing only the process of this root user on this current terminal. So what it is showing here is that the PID, that means a unique process ID. So every process when you run in a system, it will get a unique ID. So because of this ID, system understands the process. It will differentiate between the process. Because maybe suppose we are running multiple process, the process are same, like I can run the command ps here, then I can run the ps command on another terminal, I can run the ps command on another terminal, multiple terminals I can run the ps command. But how the system differentiate it? So system will differentiate it because of the PID, because the name is same, ps is same for every password, the command name is same for all the terminals I'm running, or maybe a different users are running on the same machine, but still the name will be same. We see the name, we say okay, they all are same, but they all process are not same. So for system, it will differentiate between those processes by using the PID. So every process we execute or run in the Linux system, it will have a unique process ID. This ID is unique, and by this ID, our system understand and identify the process. So when you run the ps command, it will show what? It will show only the process run by the current user on the current terminal. So right now, what process it is showing here? It is showing the PID here, that this is the process ID, and this is showing the TTY, the terminal where we are running the process. So this is the sudo terminal 0, this is this terminal. We can verify by TTY command, and this is the sudo terminal 0. Then it is showing the time it took to run, that means the time it take to run the process. These processes are run very quickly within no seconds, so it is not showing any here, it is hours, minutes and seconds. So it is not showing any seconds also, because it runs less than a second time. And then this is the command, it shows the command which is actually executed. Okay, now if I want to see all the process which is executed, so I will use hyphen ps hyphen e. I am using the Unix style. I will show you both the styles will work. If I use hyphen aux, it will also work, and it shows like this. And if I try to use aux, This is BSD Unix style. It will also work and it shows all these things. Now I want to run Unix style, that is what -e. So when you run only PS, it shows the current user's current process. When you want to see all the process which is executed till now after the booting of this system, so you will run after the PS-E option, it will show all the executed process till now. Now when you go up, so you will see what? You will see the PID, TTY terminal and the time it took to run and then the command it runs. Now the process ID 1 here, it shows what? This is the first process run when you started the system. So when you started this RHEL 7, you saw the first process. So the first process it shows here, it is system D. And the second process is kernel K threaded. That means it is a kernel thread D. This is system D, this is kernel thread D. Now these are the first two processes we have when you start the system. The system D took 5 seconds to execute. This kernel does not take any time. So this is the first process we have in RHEL 7. Now this is the difference we have from RHEL 6 to 7. If you see the kernel version in RHEL 6, it is different. The base version is different. Base version is different. In this RHEL 7, the base version is different. It's changed from 2 to 3. So it is actually changed a lot of things. It changes the initialization also. So in RHEL 7, for initializing the system, it uses init process. So when you run this command, same command in RHEL 6 or any old versions, RHEL 6, 5 or 4.3.2, you will see init here. That init process job is to initialize the system. But now for initializing this Red Hat 7, we have not used, it is not using init. Instead it is using what? The system D. It is using system D to initialize the system, and this is the first process it executes. And then after all the other process for initializing the system are run by this system D. So first system D runs and then it runs other process. So first system D runs and this kernel thread D runs, and it do what? It runs all the kernel related programs like hardware drivers and all that. And for the system initialization, the system D will do the job. Now this shows, this PSE command shows all the process we have executed. Now it is showing what? It is showing PID of the command, and then it is showing time terminal. There is no terminal showing here because these are the system process. It was executed in the system, not on the terminal. So it is not showing terminal time, and then it is showing the command. Now if we want to see the information in detail, then we can use ps-e f command. It will show you the information in detail. Now what detail it is adding here? It is showing in full, F4 full. So what information it is showing here? It is showing that now the UID also. It is showing the UID of the user, but it is resolving the name and showing us the name of the user, not the UID. Because if it is showing the UID, then it is not easy for us to understand that what is the username. We have to then find the UID under the passwd file. But for us, for making it easy for us, it is resolving the UID of the user with the username. So root, it is showing root, that means it is showing the root user's UID. That means the process which it is showing here, it is executed based on the privilege of this UID. That means root user's privilege. Then it is showing here the PID, that means the process ID. Then also it is showing the parent process ID. Parent process ID, that means who runs this process 1. So here it is showing 0, and for process 2 also it is showing 0. Now for the rest of the process you will see 1 or 2, and then you will see 1, and then you will see other process, parent process. So you will see the process also, and you can see also the parent process who executed that child process. Now here it is not showing any process ID, that means this process is executed by the kernel itself. It shows here the start time when it was started. There is no terminal, but it is how much time it has taken, and then it is showing the command in detail that it is executed the system D with all these options. Then the kernel threaded, and then it is goes on to show you the all other process. As you can see, these are all executed by 2. So the parent process is 2. Then you will start seeing the parent process as 1. That means this is the these process are executed by the system D, and then you can go on to see. Now this is what the process we have executed, ps-ex on this terminal, and this is the parent, this is the process ID, and this is the user ID which is used to execute the process. Now if you see here, it is showing the parent process ID also. Now what is the parent process ID is 4264. So this process is executed by this parent process. What is 4264? Now who is 4264? So if you see here in the process ID, it is here 4264. Now this is what it is, actually a bash. So we get the bash when you logged into this sudo terminal. The user will get the shell, that is the bash shell it gets, and because of on this shell it will run this command. So on the shell it runs this command. So the command's parent process is what? This bash, which is also showing that it is also on the sudo terminal, and this is the process ID for that parent process, bash process 4264. But 4264 is executed by the other parent, and that is what? 4260. This is the process which is a parent process for this bash, who executed the bash. So when we open the terminal, we get this bash. We open the sudo terminal, we get this bash. Now who is giving us this? 4260, and this one is also given by the 4260. So where is 4260? It is here. 4260 is actually what? It is a GNOME terminal server. So this is a GNOME desktop environment, and when we open a terminal, a sudo terminal on that GNOME desktop GNOME terminal, then what? GNOME desktop environment, it is given by this GNOME terminal server. So the bash, the shell, the pseudo shell is given from this terminal server, GNOME terminal server. Now this GNOME terminal server's process ID is 4260, but who is the parent process? Now you can see the parent process is 1. That means this GNOME terminal is executed by system D. So when you track all the any other process, it will take you back to the system D. Always it will take you back to the system D. Like for example, I will execute this. I want to open the Firefox. Now I will open it from the graphical. I'm not opening as a command line. So I'm going to open one process here. Let's say I will open the Firefox. Now I have opened the Firefox, and I have opened it in the GNOME terminal in a graphical. So in a graphical terminal, I have opened the firewall graphically. Now I will check the process here. So it shows here that Firefox is executed, and this is the process ID of that. The terminal, it is not showing here because we executed on the graphical terminal. It is not a terminal, it is not a sudo terminal or TTY terminal. So this is the process ID 8269, and who executed it? 3940. Now where is 3940? So when we go and find out the 3940, what is it? 3940. So 3940 is here. This is 3940, and it is actually what? GNOME's shell. So GNOME shell, because we have executed this Firefox, we have opened the Firefox from the GNOME shell, directly from this GNOME shell. So it is showing that the parent process is GNOME shell. Now who executed the GNOME shell? So you can see it is what? Parent is what? 3713. Now who is 3713? So 3713 is this one, and this is what? It is actually GNOME session. it is executed by the genome session with the session command and with the genome classic. So when we logged into the system with using the genome terminal, genome desktop environment, and that is genome classical, the genome classic, so it actually executed by this command genome session. Now after that we get the genome terminal and genome shell, and then on the genome shell we open the Firefox. Now who started this one? So it is started by 36453. Now when you look for 3653, so this is the one, 3653, and this is what? It is the genome desktop manager session worker. So this is the process which starts the genome sessions, and this is the genome desktop manager session worker. Now who started this? So we can see 1515. Now where is 1515? So 1515 is here, and 1515 is actually what? Genome desktop manager. So this genome desktop manager executed the genome desktop session workers, and that session worker started the genome session classic, and then on that genome session you get the genome shell. Then on the genome shell we open the Firefox. Now who run this genome desktop environment? GDM desktop manager. So now we can see the parent process is again 1. Now 1 means it is actually system D. So the system D is basically is a process, the first process which do what? Which which initialize our system, which initialize our system and make the system usable. So when we boot our system, so system D's job is to initialize our system. So this is how you can track it. Now it is not showing more detail. So you can go on to use this command called AUX to see the all users executed process, and you will see it in the more detail. And now you will see what the state also. You will see the process state. So what you are seeing here again the username, that is the UID, then PID, then you will see that the CPU uses, memory uses, you see the virtual size memory used, reverse RSS used, terminal, and the state for the process, starting time and the time it take to run. Now here you will see the state of the process also. S means sleep. This is sleeping. Then you have some sleeping N also. This is greater than, less than sleeping, but all of them are sleeping because they have executed the parent process, the child processes. Then we have here a running process, and these are all sleep. This is running process. Last we have executed, that means plus. So last time which process we have executed, it is showing as a R plus. So this is the process which we have executed lastly, PS-AUX. Other than all the other processes are sleeping, the R means it is running. Right now we don't have multiple processes running in the system, so it is not showing us the multiple R's or anything. It is showing only all the processes are sleeping or stop. It is not showing any process, the zombie and in any other state. Now controlling the process. Now sometime when you run the process, what happens? It comes in a foreground. Foreground, that means you will see the process. This is the graphical foreground where you can see the process is running in front of you. And sometimes the process is in a background. So we can have a process which is running in the foreground, and also we can have a process which is running in a background. Now suppose I have run one process here. I will run the command sleep. Now this command will do what? It will make our system, it will take our system to sleep. Our system will go to sleep. Now you have to mention how much time after your system will go to sleep. Let's say I will say 1000. After 1000 seconds, I want that system to go to sleep. Now when I run this command, now it is actually doing what? It is running in a foreground. It is not running in a background. Foreground, that means the terminal, the command terminal is not for me and not available for me, like it is not available here. So I cannot do anything because the process is running in a foreground. In a graphical, what you see, you will see the process directly here. You will see the process because it is graphical, and then you can close it like this. But here in command line, when you run a process, you will lose your terminal and the process will run, and it will run until it is finishes. Now until 1000 second happens, then only it will do what? It will close the process. Now for closing the process, what option you have? You have Control Z and Control C. Now suppose you press Control Z, then what happened? Control Z. I pressed Control Z here. Now what happened? It is stopped. It is not closed. The process is stopped, it is not closed. That means when you see the process here, so you can see the process here. Let's see the process with status. So this is the process, and the state for that process is T. That means this process is right now stopped. So it is just stopped. It is not like it is closed or it is cancelled. It is just stopped. It is not killed, and it goes into background. So basically the job, this process goes into background. It is not closed. It is not closed. It is just stopped, and it goes into background. So goes into background, that means we can see the task which is running in the background by using the command jobs. Now when you see the job, when you run the job command, it will show that the process is running in the background, and it is running in the background in a stopped state. Sometimes the process runs in a background in a running state, but this one is running in the stopped state. And this is what we have run on this terminal, and it is in stopped state. So it is not killed, it is not closed. So when you press Control plus Z, so it will do what? It will not kill the process, it will just stop the process and make the process run in a background. Now if you want to run the process purposely in the background, let's say I will do what? Sleep 2000. Now I want to run this process in a background because I want to run the process, and also I want to have a terminal so I can run some commands. So any process you want to run it in a background, then what we can do? We can put an n% at the end of the command. So whenever you run the process, any command, you will do what? You can give n% at the end of the command. So it will do what? It will run the process in a background. Now this process, you can see our command line is still available, but still the process is not closed, it is not stopped, it is still running, but running in the background. So when I see jobs again, so we can see here we have the two process which is running. One is running and one is stopped. This one I pressed Control Z, and this one I purposely send it to background by using this n% symbol. So you will use you want to run any process in the background, then what we can do? We can use the n% sign. Now what to do with this? Now these two processes will do the job, then they will do what? They will stop. That means after waiting for 1000 seconds, it is going to sleep. It will make our system, it will take our system to sleep, or after this 2000 it will go for sleep. So this is running, so it will wait for 2000 and then it will do the job, but this wheel is stopped, so it will not do anything because it is stopped. Now if you don't want to stop the process or you don't want to run it the background, then what you can do? You can run the process, like for example I will say 3000. Now when I run this, I don't want to make it, now this is running in the foreground, I don't want to make it stop it, I want to close it, I want to close this process. Then you will press Control C. So Control C will do what? It will actually close the process. Now when you check the jobs, there is no process running says sleep 3000. There is no sleep 3000 is running in a background also, because we have pressed what? Control C. So Control C will do what? It will close the process. But Control Z will do what? It will stop the process and put the process in a background. Now when you check the process with the state with PS command, you can see here this one is running, this one is sleeping right now, and this one is stopped. So when the process runs in a background, it shows at what? Sleep, S. And that is what? Interruptible. We can interrupt this process. Now interrupt means what? We can stop or kill that process. Now for example, the process are running in the background. Now what to do with this process? I want to get them back. I want to get them in a foreground. So then what we can do? We can use the command FG to bring that process in a foreground. FG means foreground. And then what? You will mention the number of that process which you want to make it foreground. So I want to bring this 1 back to the foreground, so I will say 1. Now you see the sleep 1000 is back on foreground, and now we lose our terminal, and it is now running. Now I want to kill it. I want to close it, so I will press Ctrl C. So this will do what? It will close it. Now when you check the jobs, there is no sleep 1000 process is running, because we bring it back in a foreground and then we killed it. We closed it. Same as we can do it for this also. If we want to close it or we want to run it in a background, in a foreground, so we will use the ID number of that process, and now it is in the foreground. It is running, but it is still running in the background. The command is what? This. So it goes into background whenever we take it in a foreground. It again goes back to background. Why? Because of this n%. So when we bring it in the foreground, then what it do? It goes back to background. Now we have an option only to kill this process, because it is not coming in the foreground, because the command itself saying go to background. So whenever we try to bring it in a foreground, it will go back to the foreground, go back to the background. So we have to do what? We have to kill the process. Now for killing the process, what we need the PID of that process. We need a PID of that process which we want to kill. So if we want to get the PID, then what we will do? We will run the PS command. So this is sleep 2000 which I want to kill, and this is what the PID of that process, 8530. So I want to kill this process 8530. So I want to do I want to kill it, I want to close it. So I will use the command kill. This kill command is to kill the process which you don't want to run, you want to kill it. So what is the process ID? 8530. So you will do what? You will mention the command kill. 8530 is the process ID. Now what it do here? It is terminated this sleep process. It is terminated that sleep process, and now when you check the job commands, there is no job it is showing, and when you run the PS command, there is no sleep 2000 is showing here. So it is killed. It is terminated. So we use this kill command to terminate the process. Now we can use this kill command to do the other things also. Do the other things also. That means there are other options we have with this kill command which do the multiple other things. Like if you don't want to terminate the process, if you want to kill the process, let's say for example I will open the Firefox here with the command line Firefox, and I will run it in a background. Now you see the Firefox is a graphical available here, so it opens here directly. Now it is running in a background as a terminal, but in a graphical it shows here. Now I want to kill this process. So first I will get the process ID by using the PS command, or we can also use the command PID off. PID off, and then you will mention the process which want to get the PID. So you can get the directly PID of that process. So PID of command will give you the process ID directly, and then what, you can run the kill command to kill the process. So I want to kill the process, then I will use kill command, and then I can use the multiple other options. I will use -9. Now this 9 will do what? It will kill the process. But suppose, let's see, first kill the process 9 5 and then 5 8. Now you see the background, you can see the Firefox is running here. Now what I will do, I will kill. Now this will do what? Killed. So by default, when you give no option, then it will do what? It will terminate the process. When you give the 9 option, then it will do what? It will kill the process. And now Firefox is gone. You can see that it is Firefox is not there. So same as this 9 option, we have multiple other options. These other options, that means the signals. It is actually a signals. So this kill command do what? It passes the signal to the process. Passes the signal to the process that what to do. To do the termination, to do the killing, or to do any other thing. So there is multiple signals option we have to use with the kill command. So if we want to use that, I can see all those options by using the -L option. This will do the list, it will list all the options available. So we have used this 9 here, that will do what? Send the signal kill to the process, and the process will kill. Now we can do what? We can use other signals also. There are multiple signals also there. Signal quit, signal ill, signal pipe, signal count, urgent, signal terminate, and then we have signal stop, signal continue. Let's say for example, this signal will do what? It will stop the process. Stop the process, and then this signal will do what? Continue the process. That means suppose you're running some process and it is consuming more power, and you want to just stop that process for some time, then you can do what? You can stop this by using this, and then you can continue the process by using this. It is just, stop means it is just like pressing Ctrl Z on the terminal when it is running on the terminal. So if suppose I run the graphical process like this one, it is graphical, or I will run it from this command prompt and run it in a background. Now this is running in a background, I cannot stop it because we have a terminal. If I press Ctrl Z, it will not do anything because it is not stopping, because it is still running. It will keep running in the background because it is running here. So I cannot press Ctrl Z here to stop it. So what I can do, I can send the stop signal by using the kill command and the option 19. First I will get the process ID of this Firefox. Now this time it is having 9739. It is not necessary that you will have always same process ID. This time it is 9739. So I will use the kill command, and then I will use -19 to stop the process. 9739. Now remember, the process is running, and you can see I can click here, I can select this, I can refresh this, because it is running right now. It is running, it is keep working properly. But I will do what? I will stop it now. Now what it did here, it stopped the process. Stop that, it will not run. Now when I try to click here, you can see it is not selecting or not clicking anything. Now what it is saying, you may choose to wait or you can close forcefully, because it is stopped right now. So I will say okay, wait, and then what I will do, I will continue the process by using the -18 option. Now it will continue the process. Now when I go back to here, you can see I can now select, I can refresh and do anything, because it is now running. And then for killing it, we can go for 9 option, just like previously we did, and it will do what? It will kill the process. So this kill command is used to manage or kill the process. Kill the process. If you don't want to run it, you can also do what? You can stop the process, and also you can continue the process, and also many more signals we have which we can pass to the signals, pass to the process to do the job. So this kill command do what? It used to kill the process, used to stop and continue the process. but we have a command which use it is also it is kill all. Now this kill all do what? It will actually do the killing or sending the signal to multiple commands at the same time, which matches the command pattern. So for example, I will run some sleep commands here. Sleep. Okay, I will give unique. Sleep 5000. Okay, I should have run it on background. Okay, I will run it on background. Sleep 5000. Then I will run sleep 6000. Then I will run sleep 7000. Now I have run those, and I have run them on background. So there are 3 processes are running in a background, and I want to kill them all by using the command pattern. I don't remember the UI. If I give the PID, then it will do kill only the single process. I want to kill them all. So what I can do, I can use the command kill all with -9 option that will pass the signal to kill the process, and then I will mention the command pattern, and that is what sleep command. I want to kill all the sleep commands which is running in this system. Now what it did here, it killed all the commands which is sleep commands. Now when you check the jobs, now there is no sleep command running because I have killed them all by using the single command. So instead of running kill command to kill single process, we can run the same kill all command to pass the signal. Not even the kill, we can pass the signal to stop, continue or kill or any other signal to multiple commands which matches the command pattern. So whatever the command pattern is there, so you can match. Options can be any. I have mentioned only the command. Then also we can do what we can, the root user can do what, it can kill other users process also. All the process runs by the other users. So for example, suppose I logged into the user 1 or some other user here on the other terminal, user 1, and this user is maybe running this command, sleep command, for 250 or 2500 and in a background. And it is running there. So it may be run multiple process. Let's say I will run some of the process in foreground like 380, 100. This is in a foreground. Now I want to kill the process for this user. The root user can do that. So root user can do what? It can use the command kill all the process for that particular user by using the option. So what I want to do, I want to pass the signal to kill. Then I want to use the U option for the user one name, username, and then the command pattern which I want to kill. Now I am sending the command pattern, so it is going to kill all those commands. Now let's check and go back to the other terminal. Now we see here that this process which is running in the foreground, it is also killed, and there is one more process which was running in the background. Let's check what happened to that process. So it was also killed. So same as the kill signal, the root user can send the other signals also. It can stop the process. If suppose some users are running the heavy process which is making the server slow, so what we can do, we can kill that, we can stop those process, and then what, user root can stop those process, and then it can save some memory, it can save some processing power for the server. So this is what running the process, and this is how we can check the process, and we can check the process by using the ps command, and also we can kill the process by kill and kill all command. Now this ps command which we use, it actually shows the process which is executed. It is not showing the process which is running right now. Not like in Windows. In Windows what we have, a task manager. Task manager shows what, the running process and how much processing power it is using currently. It shows all those things in real time view. So if we want to see it in real time view in our Linux command line, just like Windows task manager, so here we use top command. So only top, with just no option, just give top and press enter. It opens it like this in a command terminal, and you can see it is changing. It is the running process. It is showing all these running process. It shows what first it is showing what the top, it shows the time and how much time the system is running. 3 users are logged in. This is the load average. Here it shows the total task. 3 is running and this number of tasks are sleeping. There is no stop task and also there is no zombie. Then it shows here the processor state of the processor. Then it is showing about the RAM memory. It is the total free used buffer cache, and then also it shows the swap memory. Then here it shows the process ID, users. Then it is also showing here the priority value, nice value. It is called priority value, and this is the nice value. Then it is showing the watch memory ratio, and then it is showing the CPU and memory usage, the time, and then it is also showing the commands which is running in the background. If you want to get more detailed information, then you have multiple options here. Like for example, I want to see only the information about only the process of user 1. So I will give U command and then I will mention the name of that user here. When I press enter, it shows only the process which is run by that user, and that is only bash it is run. Now if you want to see the all users, then U and blank for all. Same as we have multiple other options. If you want to see that, then you can give H here. Press H in your keyboard and it will show you the help. And you can use all of these options to do these different things. So H for help and U for user information filtering and Q for quit or escape to continue. So if you press escape here, it goes back to this top, and to get out of this top you will press Q and it will take you out from this top command. So this top command gives you the task process view just like a task manager in our Windows system. So this is our process management, where we can see the process, check the process and kill the process, manage the process in foreground and background also.